Austin, let's head over to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, Ohio State, as we alluded to, out from, depending on the sports book, on open, an underdog, now a 2.5 point favorite, or especially on the look ahead line, they were a dog to Oregon. Now just under the key number of 3 and minus 130 on the money line at Bet365 against the Ducks, total of 55.5. A much different defense than what we saw in Eugene. For the Buckeyes on that side of the ball, you have Hancock moving over to high safety. The defensive line, especially on the edge, has been playing phenomenal football. And if we look at the run game for Oregon, which is seemingly what they rely on, especially to build on that lead, even though they have an All-American quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, yards per play on zone rushes for Oregon, not as successful if you look comparatively speaking, is what we've seen from Penn State, just another team that we discussed. And on the flip side, can Oregon's run defense stop a power run offense that Ohio State utilizes to the fullest extent, even though their offensive line has been a bit decimated here over the last month or so with Henderson and Judkins. So if you see my handicap or hear my handicap, I favor Ohio State, probably laying a bit of a bigger number on the money line rather than laying the 2.5, even though it's below the key number of 3. But how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I think Ohio State's rightly favored. I have concerns, and you mentioned it, and we saw it in the Big Ten championship game against Penn State. I have concerns about the Oregon defense. Penn State did not really have success running the ball much this year. Their offense had been kind of inconsistent, and they were doing pretty much whatever they wanted. They ran for, I think, over 200 yards against Oregon. So that's kind of as good as Oregon's offense is, that's the concern for me going forward, is you will have this weak link. And it's not just this is a solid, maybe an average rush. This is not a good rush defense. And I think that's a concern to where Ohio State can really attack you every which way, even more so than Penn State did, just because they have more of the outside weapons. Penn State just kind of did their two-headed monster running back show where they ran for 200 plus, and Hour scrambled as well. So yeah, I'm not for the people that are out there Ohio State, they lost to Michigan. I mean, I think we saw the Tennessee game. Michigan had a very, they have the 2 best defensive tackles in the country. That really changes how you can attack a defense, and nobody else is going to have that. Definitely not Oregon here. So I don't know if I'm in the business of laying the price here with Ohio State, because I do have concerns about their offensive line. And again, like I said, Oregon's offense is incredible, but I just think Ohio State's the more well-rounded team here. Maybe this is a live opportunity. I think this is a good opportunity for if either team is down, to really climb back in. Definitely, if Oregon gets down early, I think this could be a live over angle, because Ohio State's going to have success running the ball. Oregon's going to have to throw a ton. So that's kind of how I'm looking to attack it. Probably nothing pregame for me, but I do think Ohio State is rightfully favored here.
All right, so Ohio State for me on the money line, and maybe a look toward the live over. I'm curious there, just because, like I had on off the top for this handicap, and I think you agree to an extent, better Ohio State defense for sure than what we saw from the Buckeyes in Eugene in Week 6. So even with that in mind, and Oregon facing a negative game script, I get it, with Gabriel then having many more dropbacks, but maybe not as optimistic or bullish on the Buckeyes defense in a positive game script in that sense.
Yeah, so I think Ohio State's defense is the best in the country. So I'm not down on them or anyway. It's just more of, I think that game script favors a high scoring potential game, because again, I don't think Oregon's going to have success stopping the run. There's going to be explosive opportunities in the run game for Ohio State. That allows, the big thing for that is, in my mind, is Ohio State's going to be able to keep scoring. They're not just going to sit on the ball, and obviously, they can throw the ball around with Ibuka and Smith. And if Oregon's playing from behind, they're going to be going with tempo. They're going to be throwing a lot. So I just think that script plays towards, as good as I think Ohio State's defense is, I think it's more of a bet on Ohio State's offense is going to keep their foot on the gas, because they're going to have so much success should have so much success running the ball, and then Oregon has to play catch up.
Yeah, it could be a good live betting opportunity if you get either or both of these teams potentially within a possession, maybe Ohio State plus 3.5, Oregon plus 3.5, or if either of them build a double-digit lead or right around that number, you can get both of them to keep it within a touchdown and really go for a good middle. So I'm with you on the live betting opportunity, but I think I'll take a look at Ohio State on the money line. I think we're both in agreement that the Buckeyes' ground game can control the script and the clock. It just depends on if Oregon's passing attack can seemingly catch up, if that's the way this game winds up trending over the course of the first half.